welcome back. I am just hoping so much that you can see me and that it's in focus because the sun's so bright I can't really see on the little screen, so fingers crossed. I am back outside for another cozy corner. I had wanted to do this a couple of days ago, but the weather has just been awful here, and now, hello, it's sunny, so I was like, oh yes, thank you so much, I can film it outside. So yes, today I'm going to be doing a book review for a book that I read for Act Out Games book club. I'll link their channel down below. I love their channel, I've been watching for so long, and then they started a book club and this is the first of the book club, so definitely go ahead and check out their channel to see what the next book club book will be, because I'm very excited because I absolutely loved this book, so I can't wait to see what book they're going to pick next. And hopefully I'll be taking part in a live show they've got going on this, well, it's Monday today, so this coming weekend. Should be, I think, on Sunday, the coming Sunday. So yeah, I was hoping to get this video up at the weekend, but like I said, the weather was just really awful, so I didn't want to film outside. So yes, so anyway, I will be talking today about The Familiars. This book I had only heard of because of Presley on the channel. She talks about the book, and you know, the fourth book in this series, I think it is her favourite book, and you know, this is one of her favourite series, and I'd heard her talk about it, and that's the only reason I'd heard of it. I've never heard anybody else talk about this book, and I didn't really know much about it. But this one came up in the book club and I was like, oh yeah, I'll read it, I think it'll be fun. And it's a middle grade book, and I just loved this book. It was just such a fun, fantastic, magical book, and I feel like anybody at any age could read this. I mean, obviously I'm 21 and I still enjoyed this so much, and the writing style was so beautiful that it didn't feel, I don't know, sometimes with middle grade books I feel like being older, it is a bit hit or miss. Like you could either, like with Percy Jackson for example, that's a middle grade series that I absolutely love, and I know many people my age who still enjoy it as well, but then obviously younger people can enjoy it as well. I feel like this series is on that same level, like in terms of the enjoyment across the board. I definitely will continue on with this series. I think there's 4 books in the series, and like I said, this is the first, and basically it's kind of like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like Harry Potter, well, they describe it as like Harry Potter meets the Warriors, but I have not read the Warriors books, so I'm not sure. But it is a magical book, a fantasy book about these 3 familiars, and if you don't know, a familiar is kind of like a wizard's or wizard or witches, can it be both? A wizard's assistant, like an animal assistant, like, you know, Harry Potter has Hedwig and, you know, things like that. And basically, the book starts out with this cat called Aldwin, is that his name, Aldwin? And he's this ordinary alley cat. And basically he is escaping from, you know, being caught, and he slips into this pet shop. But what he doesn't know is it's a magical pet shop which sells, you know, familiars for wizards. And this boy comes and he just so happens to pick out Aldwin as his familiar, and Aldwin's like, oh my gosh, like, this is a bit of a disaster. I'm not a magical, you know, animal. How am I gonna pull this off? And basically they think that Aldwin has telekinesis. Sorry, I could not get the word out. And so that's the power that they think that he has, because each animal kind of has its own specific words today. Specific power. What's happened? I don't know. We're just going to carry on. And the frog, Gilbert, can kind of see into the future. I don't remember what the bird I think is called Skylar. I don't remember her particular power. But she does have one. They all kind of have their own particular power. So basically, you know, we have these 3 children who are kind of in this wizard school, and they each, you know, have the 3 familiars. But of course, the book is kind of focused more on the animals than the people in this book, which I really, really enjoyed. So that's kind of the basics of the world and the storyline and the characters, you know. But something happens, which I won't really spoil for you. Something happens, and the children get kidnapped. The 3 children, they get kidnapped. And it's up to the familiars to rescue the children. And honestly, it is so much fun. I mean, to be honest, the first chapter I was like, oh yeah, okay, it seems cute. But then from the second chapter, I was like, wow, you know, when he's in the pet shop in the second chapter, that is when it really, really hooked me, and I really, really got into it. And I read this book in one whole go, because I just absolutely loved it, and I just kind of wanted to just carry on. I couldn't leave it, so I read it in one day, and I just absolutely loved it. And so anyway, you know, they go on this adventure to save their, you know, their humans, I guess you'd say. And the adventure is so much fun. Each chapter is like its own little mini adventure. I don't really know if that makes sense, but it has so much, and so much variety from each chapter, and they're so unique from each other, which they all still flow, but I feel like each chapter was so unique that it really, really engaged you and kept you going, and I just loved it. This is a fantastic book for everybody. I gave it 4.5 stars. I just enjoyed it so much. I know that I'll probably reread this in the future. It was just so much fun. If you just want a fun, magical book, this is definitely a book for you. And you know, it deals with the themes of friendship and teamwork. I loved the Bridge of Betrayal chapter in this book. It also has a very fun tortoise in the book that can stop time. That was fun. I loved that. There's so much about this book to love. So many little quirky things that I hadn't really seen in books before. I really, really loved it. I can't wait to read the second book. Hopefully I'll just love it all as much. But yeah, so definitely check out The Familiars if you haven't already, because honestly I loved it so much. And yeah, I just had a fun time with it. It was just constant fun. It was always going. There was never like a dull moment. Honestly, it was so much fun. The characters were so different from each other as well, that I felt it was really interesting. Each one of them was really interesting, and I felt like you really got to know each animal for their own personality and their own kind of backstory, which I also really, really loved. So yeah, definitely check out The Familiars. Definitely go ahead and check out Act Out Games channel. I'll link down below, and the live show next Sunday. Definitely check that out. But I think the live show will be spoilers, so if you haven't read the book, maybe, you know, try and read the book before the Sunday if you can get it from the library or something, because you know, I read it pretty quick and I just flew through this and enjoyed it. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have read The Familiars and your thoughts on it, and if you haven't, I honestly truly recommend it. Or if you maybe you have a like, you know, a niece or a nephew or a brother or a sister or a child who you think might enjoy it, definitely pick it up for them. I think everybody will enjoy this book. So yeah, until then guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this Cozy Corner outside book review. I'll see you then. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you then. Thank you. Goodbye.